welcome to the Play Choices Podcast, the podcast you hear. I'm your host, V. This episode is going to be a continuation from our last episode. It will be part 2 of us discussing the Nanny Affair Book 1. So first, please go watch that episode before, otherwise you might be totally lost. And also, this episode is not spoiler safe, so if you want to avoid spoilers for Nanny Affair Book 1 Chapter 1, please read that first, and we'll be here for you to come back and listen. Our last warning is that the Nanny Affair is rated 17 plus in the Choices app, and even though we would never say that our podcast is necessarily child-friendly, we would also like to warn any listeners who may be uncomfortable discussing sexual content that just due to the sexual nature of the content of the Nanny Affair, sexual content will be a topic of discussion for this episode. So if that makes you uncomfortable, then feel free to catch up with us next week when we're discussing a book that isn't so fueled by that type of discussion. All right, and now on to the episode. So after that scene, Sam will invite Anna in for a nightcap to get to know each other better, and it is a diamond option scene. Did you take this diamond option?
I did not take it.
I did not either. It felt inappropriate.
Yes, it really did. I'm not saying going after Sam is bad, but I'm just saying it's too soon, it's too quick.
You can't try to fuck your future boss before they're even your boss. He's not even a boss yet.
Okay, like, you just put the children to bed on your first day. You might as well, you showed up for work, honestly, because that's really what it was. Like, what is this part 2 of a job interview? I physically played with, your twin boys, put them to bed, and made sure they brushed their teeth, got them situated, all of that. Put that in my pay, okay?
Right, you better pay me for the night. Could you imagine doing all that? And then he's like, you don't got the job.
Yeah, you don't got the job. How many people might be applying for that position and like he just truly needs help every night? And like
Do you think he does interviews every night to try to put them to bed?
let's be realistic. Let's truly just think about this.
Okay.
If Sam stays in a city, there could possibly be more than 365 people applying for that job. Meaning essentially you could have one person just help your children out a night and not pay them.
True. You could make them do all the labor and just say like,
I think we're gonna go for someone different. Thank you for applying. If the person doesn't work out, we will be sure to call you. Or even if you did all of that and just be like, yeah, I just talked to my children and unfortunately they're like uncomfortable by you. I just think it might be a little too soon. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Like, are you gonna be mad? You can't just be like, fuck you and your children. Like,
fuck you and your children. Some people might. Yeah, I guess I never thought about that. I would have to say though, like, you know how disappointing it would have to be, like, if you had a nanny come over at night to see if they could put the children to bed and then they failed and you had to put the kids to bed yourself. I'd be so fucking irate. I'd be like, come on, bruh. Why'd I even invite you into my home? I would have been like, you know what? This obviously isn't working out. You can leave now.
no, like truly, like you can't even do the job that I wasn't gonna pay you for. Come on now.
So neither of us took this diamond option, but I did watch it on like a YouTube playthrough, so I'll describe to you what happened. So Anna, when they start walking through the house, Anna will just like blatantly stare at Sam, checking them out. I think Sam invites Anna into their office.
Oh.
It's like I feel like if you're gonna offer someone a nightcap, like don't do it in office.
Not in
That's
the
just
office,
weird. Like
no.
if you want to say come in for a nightcap so we can get to know each other better, and then you sit at an office desk,
I'm gonna need a
that's very
common
strange.
area.
You have an entire house, an entire apartment, an entire condo, and it's obviously a nice condo, because this person is at least a millionaire, right?
No,
Like at
for
least.
sure, yeah.
Why you inviting me to the office? Sit me down on your couch. Make me feel comfortable. We in the office. I feel like, damn, this is still a part of the fucking interview, which I guess it definitely is. I guess it is. Like, of course it is.
Yeah.
But it's uncomfortable. I don't like drinking alcohol in an office setting. That makes me feel like something weird's about to happen. Which is perfectly accurate because something weird does happen during the scene. So Anna looks at some pictures on the wall, and Anna will ask Sam about a picture that shows Sam skydiving, and Sam will say that they used to when they had more free time and that skydiving made them feel alive. Sam will comment that you only get that type of adrenaline rush when you take a big risk. And then Sam will ask Anna what it takes to make her tick. And Anna can either say desire, positive change, or family life. If Anna says desire, Sam will choke on their drink and ask what Anna means. Anna will say that she likes to indulge in her senses, like the difference between savoring a strawberry or eating a strawberry. Her definition is very like, I'll be honest, this is like very like vague description. When I was writing down the notes, I was like, how the fuck am I going to describe this on the podcast? But Anna was just saying that by desire, she means she likes to indulge in her senses. So, like, she likes to stop and smell the roses, essentially. She doesn't just eat, she savors. She doesn't just touch, she, like, feels. You know what I mean? Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes.
I'm trying really hard to describe this, but it's kind of, like, weirdly worded in the book, so, strange. If you say positive change, Anna will comment that Sam has created something great with their family and their business and will say that she wants to do something similar. Sam will say that they have the confidence that Anna will and that she has a big heart and dreams. I couldn't find what the dialogue was for family life, so I apologize. I have no idea what that means. Sam will then say that they admire Anna's passion, and because it reminds Sam of their own passion, and very few share that type of passion. Sam will say it does make life lonely at times, but when you do meet someone who shares the passion, it makes the flame shine even brighter. At this point, Anna can choose to lean forward or move away from Sam. If you do choose to lean in, you'll spill your drink, and Sam will suggest that they walk you to a different part of the house.
Oh.
Right, and then the diamond scene ends there. So Sam will show Anna the bedroom where Anna's going to stay, and then we'll tell Anna that the job is hers if she wants it. I will say that this is the exact setting in which Anna had her sex scene. So, like, she dreamed about having sex with Sam in her bedroom where they show her. Anna will hug Sam and then can choose to pull away quickly or enjoy the sensation. It's not really a significant choice. I guess it just like it just depends on how you want to play your character. If Anna's going to choose to be professional or if Anna is going to be like flirtatious with Sam. The book will then skip to the next morning where Anna is talking to her best friend Jenny. Anna will say to Jenny, the kids are great, the house is great, the boss is great. And Jenny will say, yeah, I'm sure everything's great, but like, how hot is Sam? Because I heard he was hot. And Anna can either say Sam is Tabasco hot or it's irrelevant. What'd you say?
I think I said Tabasco hot.
So Anna will briefly describe how attractive Sam is and then say, of course nothing can happen because they're my boss. And if Anna says it's irrelevant, Anna will just like completely focus on the need for professionalism. It's basically the same commentary, but if you say it's irrelevant, Anna won't even like bring up how hot Sam is. And then Jenny will proceed to look up photos of Sam and comment on their attractiveness. And while they're scrolling through photos and articles of Sam, Jenny will find an article confirming that Sam is actually engaged. And then we're left on that cliffhanger. Not really a surprise considering it said the Nanny Affair.
Right. What did y'all think the affair was?
Right.
The wife, the mother figure, they're dead.
They're dead. And I know some people use affair as sometimes just like a word to describe an event, but yeah, no, they definitely took it like very, very literally. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, theories, or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to specify whether you want to be shouted out or not, otherwise all emails will be anonymous. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't discussed yet, or even questions that you'd like to ask us. Alternatively, you can go to our Ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that it's for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. So, some questions that I have for you.
Ooh, okay. Anxiety.
I love that you said that as if I don't always prepare discussion
I
questions for
know.
you.
I know. But it's because okay, I've already exposed myself a lot in this episode. My hatred of old people. Because of the theme of this book, dealing with more risque affair, risque choices and stuff, I can't imagine what these questions were. I feel like I'm gonna expose myself some more.
It is the nature of the novel. It is taboo, so we're gonna have to talk about some taboo things
Ooh,
sometimes.
let's do it.
We're gonna expose ourselves.
Don't hype me up like that.
Don't hype me up. Okay, so some discussion questions I have for you, Lucas. What do you think? Just give us like some of your general thoughts about the ethics of a story like this. I think there's a lot of things that go into it, an employee-boss relationship, getting involved with someone who is in charge of taking care of your children, and obviously Sam is engaged. So there's a lot of ways we can tackle
Oh,
what
absolutely.
part of ethical we're talking about.
This is such a good question. First of all, my comment is there's really no like HR for this particular type of employment.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the whole like, employee dating boss rule doesn't necessarily apply here. So ethically and morally, the only thing that you have to be conflicted with as a character is the sleeping with someone who is engaged. Do I believe that like you can't be a homewrecker if someone doesn't let you in the home? Yes, but literally he let you in the home, so it's very like. I mean, like I know in the story it's gonna force feed me, but I just feel like if this was me and like he was talking to me like, oh, I'm so unhappy, I don't want to be engaged anymore, I'd be like, okay, then dump her,
Right.
him, dump they, be with me, like.
Dump they. Be with
Be with
me.
me. Everybody is
Be with
included.
me.
All y'all can get dumped, and I can get my man. Okay.
Oh my god. So you're like chapter 1, you're already like dump this person, come with be with me.
Well, I don't know the context of the story. Like, if he does not state, "Oh, hey, I'm unhappy. This and that," why would I move forward in a relationship where he has not expressed that he's unhappy? He has not expressed that this is not something that he wants to be with.
Mhm.
Because, like, how do I know he just doesn't want his cake and wants to eat it too?
We don't.
This is a very powerful person in the story. He runs a huge business. He's your boss. He has mad money. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not used to people telling him no. So with that being said, I just need to know more information about their relationship because like I've been cheated on. I've done the cheating. It's not right either way. So they're definitely, me and Sam, we're gonna have to talk a little bit more. We're gonna have to talk because as far as like from a professional standpoint, professionalism's out the window the moment I moved in. Like you can make it as professional as you want, but that's not how the story is set up. So we can just already throw that. Like if you're trying to be a goody two shoes, baby girl, you had a sex dream. So like he done showed you the bed that, your fantasies were played out in. And obviously, the diamond scene, there was some sort of attraction, some sort of gravity that was pulling you guys together, or you wouldn't have spilled your drink. So it just comes to the point of like, do you want to ruin this engagement because you have feelings for Sam and you really want to be with him and you want to make him happy? Or you just do it for the thrill of saying that you took someone who wasn't initially yours?
I don't even know if that's really a thrill because it's not like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that like you agree with that point of view,
Right.
but whenever people are like proud that they like stole somebody, it's like you didn't steal somebody. That person like willingly walked out of their
Yeah,
relationship.
that's true.
Like,
That's true. I mean, you want to be called a siren or something? Did you sing so beautifully that he was like enchanted by you and like? But yeah, no, like you really have a point. So like, I feel like the only good option would be like you actually developing feelings for him, hoping that the relationship is bad and that he doesn't even want to be there in the first place, and just hoping that he ends it and realizes that he wants to be with you. Of course, this is really jumping the bandwagon.
are you gonna play this character as someone who is like aloof until Sam like says like, yeah, I definitely want to dump my fiance for you?
No, I think I would bring up the fiance constantly.
Assuming they give you the option.
Assuming they give me the option, we gonna talk about your fiance because if there is an attraction between us and if there is a gravity and you're not doing anything about that, then I'm gonna try to clear the air and have us talk about it because I don't want to live in blissful ignorance. Like I know the situation, I can't pretend that I don't know the situation. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that you don't know I know, because that's part of having your cake and eating it too. There's just multiple people in this scenario that can get hurt, even the children.
So then my question comes back to, let's say they don't give you that option for like another 5 chapters. Are you still gonna flirt with them?
Oh, no, I can't. I can't. That's wrong.
I mean, it's it's still pretty wrong, even if he does say he's gonna break up with them.
Yeah, it is.
It's still wrong. Let's be honest.
It
This
is.
whole
It
thing,
really
it
is.
puts you in this ethical dilemma where you're like, oh my god.
I think I have to see how the second chapter plays out because I could just
You're like, I might just jump his bones tomorrow.
yeah,
We don't know.
truly like I might just play Anna's character where it's just in the moment and I just have to do what's right for me and it feels good and he wants to and I want to and the twins already told me that they don't like his fiance. So I think I'm winning. Like I don't know. I guess I
Did they?
see. No, I'm just saying like if I was like if that was in the second chapter, like
Oh, okay. You were talking like you've already like played ahead and like know for sure. I was
no.
like,
That
what?
was me as Anna manifesting every gray area as to why I could be with Sam. Like, the children don't even like your fiance; they like me.
Oh my god.
No, but like, yeah, like we've already talked about it in every episode. Choices spoon feeds you what they want, so I might not even have this option to be coy. This option, it just might be like, you know, literally sleep with me, and then the diamond option sleep with me twice. And now what am I about to do?
That is not how choices makes their decisions. Sleep with me twice. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I do want to go back to something that you said about the employee-boss relationship. I could not stand by what you said. Just because there's no HR doesn't mean that it's not problematic. The fact that there's no HR should mean that it's actually more problematic because there's no one who's like impartial to the situation that can put in their judgment.
Right, but worst case scenario, you just leave the job.
But that's not the part of an employee and boss relationship. In any scenario, whether there's HR or not, you can leave the job. It's not like being in the relationship keeps you from leaving the job. I'm confused about why you think the presence of HR makes it more problematic and why you think the absence of it makes it less.
Because if there's no HR, there's no back and forth. There's no like he can fire you and be done with it and that's it. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
That's what makes it even more problematic.
I'm not saying it's less problematic in the sense that like your character will win. I'm saying it's less problematic in the sense that there's no back and forth. There's no problems at all whatsoever. There's problems for you, yes. But between you and Sam, there's not because he can just fire you, say have a nice day, go get a new nanny. So you don't have to worry about losing your job because of this unprofessionalism of you sleeping with your boss because there's no HR to report to. There's no employees to be like, oh, they're with each other. It's just you and Sam.
But that's still problematic, and if anything, the lack of HR to protect the employee from being in a toxic relationship with the boss is what makes it more problematic. That's what HR is there for. So that way, if an employee finds himself in this situation, like you saying that Sam could just end the job, like he ends the relationship, is like exactly what people fear when they get into a romantic relationship with their boss. Like they fear that if the romantic relationship ends, that it could also mean the end of their job. So the fact that there's no HR to protect an employee from that is what makes the situation even more vulnerable to predatory behavior.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
I don't think that whether a boss or employee relationship is considered toxic has to do with like the setting or the other people around. I do agree that the more people that are involved or could be witnesses, like the more troublesome it could get. But I think just inherently dating your boss is not a good idea, and it's inherently predatory because at the end of the day, your boss has power to fire you at any point in time.
Yes.
For any reason, like you said, he could just do it up to his own discretion because I mean, I suppose like you could like if he did something inappropriate that Anna really didn't like, Anna could hypothetically take him to court. But I mean, she is a nanny who is clearly has some financial need. Sam is a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's even fewer avenues for Anna to take that case to. And I think just in general, the concept of a power imbalance is to imply that there is naturally someone who is more in power than the other. So, from a boss employee perspective, the fact that Sam could just be like, boop boop, to my discretion. I don't have to go through any HR. You made bad pancakes for me this morning, and that's why I want to
Oh
fire
my
you.
god.
Like, to me, I mean, I don't know what type of.
Right,
I
right,
mean, obviously, it would be more serious than that, but boss employee relationships are pretty predatory. But I think, especially in this case, it's even like more so.
right. So it's not problematic if you just literally go for it and don't care.
It's still problematic. It's still problematic.
No, because like if you choose to be with Sam and you guys have a loving relationship, then what could go wrong? The moment
Oh
it
my
starts to go
God.
wrong is when he doesn't want to be with you anymore.
There is always going to be a power imbalance between a boss and employee, even if things are going well. Just because things are going well doesn't mean that you're happy with every single facet of the relationship. You could be like, "Oh, I want to bring up this like one thing. He did this one thing that annoyed me," but you still know that at the end of the day, that is your boss. Like, I'm sure there has been some movie or some scenario where you've seen this where someone was dating someone who was in a position of power over them, and they'll just like switch from the lover role to the boss role just because they're upset. Like, I've definitely seen that in like films before. So it doesn't matter, again, like it doesn't matter whether things are going well or poorly. It's still predatory because at the end of the day, there is a power imbalance, and whether someone has power or not impacts quite literally how a person thinks.
We gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, you problematic, but we're gonna leave it at that.
I'm just saying, like,
Because
if everything works out and then you guys get married, eventually, like, there will be no power imbalance. You won't be an employee working for him. Well, we're working for Sam. That's in a perfect world.
well, there is no such thing as a perfect world. So saying that is not realistic. I definitely think the way that you meet someone informs your relationship with them. And of course, relationships are dynamic and they can evolve. They're
Right.
dynamic, but I still think the way that you meet someone does inform literally everything. So even if you say you get past, which I don't know, quote unquote, what getting past a predatory part of the relationship means, getting past a power imbalance. But if you get past that, I mean, we've all seen instances where people like get into arguments and then they be bringing up shit that's like happened 8 years ago. Like that's still going, the fact that you were in a relationship with a power imbalance is always going to impact your memories, your thoughts, your feelings. You can evolve past something. People evolve past cheating, but I bet you when them arguments pop up, they be bringing it up. And the same thing's going to happen here. It's going to be like, "Oh, remember that one time that we got into a disagreement? It felt personal." I've definitely seen this play out. I used to work at a fast food restaurant. This manager that I worked at, he was dating an underage employee, so it was like doubly gross. And they got into an argument about something at work, and I guess because they were very comfortable with each other and their personal lives because they were dating, he had kind of known that she was insecure about something and he brought it up in the argument and she went to go cry in the bathroom. When she came back and I checked on her, she was like, "Oh, well, this person just like, he just knows how to like hurt me." So it's like, even if you get into a disagreement about a boss or employee thing, it's like those two things you can't ever completely separate from each other.
I see.
I just think it's predatory no matter who's around, who's involved, whether you make it past it. Don't date your boss. Just don't date your boss. It's the advice I would give to people. Because even if there is a quote unquote getting past a power imbalance, it's why you want to work through that. Just go find somebody where
Exactly.
there's
Like, I'm not saying like
power
dating your
imbalance.
boss is a good thing. I'm not. My only point was like in this particular setting, with there not being any HR or any other people that can report the relationship, ideally, if you choose to go forward with it, it could potentially work out to the point of a successful, quote unquote, successful and a healthy marriage. Do I believe that there will, like you said, always be instances where it's like, you know what? You didn't put enough syrup on my goddamn pancakes. And it works for me? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So that's if that's the role that you want to play, I guess it's best to play it in the sense where no one can report it. But of course that absolutely comes with a price. Absolutely 100%. I do not deny that. I do not even condone boss and employee relationships because I've been there and done that. It's not. And you're right. Do one thing wrong. Do say you don't want to have sex. Suddenly
Oh my
your
god, that
hours
would be
is cut.
so problematic.
Say you don't
That would
take Mickey and oh god, what's the other son's name? Mickey and who?
Mason.
Say you don't want to take Mickey and Mason to the park. That's it. That's it.
Right, and then they're secretly upset with you about this thing, and then they're like, no, but it's totally professional. It's because you didn't want to do this with the kids.
You're right. Not having that HR protection could truly be detrimental to her. Truly be detrimental.
And then even sometimes, y'all don't misinterpret me and say that I'm saying that HR is the saving grace, because HR sometimes,
It's a devil's
95% of the
advocate.
time, they don't be doing shit,
HR
right?
is devil's advocate. You report to HR, it's like flipping a coin. Okay?
HR is there to protect the company, and if it comes down between an employee and their boss, they're gonna pick the boss.
Oh,
I have to
absolutely.
say it. This is exactly why I say don't date your boss, because even when it comes to how other people view the relationship, some people gonna talk shit about you. HR gonna be like, oh, well, what employee do we think is the most disposable? Clearly not the boss. He's in a higher position. So you become more disposable, and they start trying to shut you up because as a person who is I guess a victim of I don't really know how they describe it in legal sense, but you can definitely, if something inappropriate happens between you and a boss, you can definitely report them for it, and HR is there to protect the
Oh
company,
yeah,
not you.
it's definitely gonna be filed under sexual misconduct, and they're gonna
Uh-huh.
pay you out, and you're gonna have to sign a plea agreement to say that you don't say anything about that for probably a sum of money. It happens all the time.
All the fucking time.
But they're gonna let you go because that's gonna be in the agreement. It's gonna be
Mhm.
give you 3 years worth of your salary right now on the terms of you can't say anything, and you have to leave the company.
And then even beyond HR, people in your workplace are gonna be like, "Oh, she was fucking him to get
Mm-hmm.
ahead in her
Mm-hmm.
career.
Mm-hmm.
She was fucking him to do this. She's stupid for falling for him. He flirted with me and I turned him down. No, look, she's the next one in line."
What I'm saying through this good old conversation is that if you're gonna be problematic, do it in the Choices app. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Do it in the Choices app.
You said do it in fictional characters, not in real life. You know what? That is something that I can agree with. That is the common ground.
That's where the slight miscommunication was. I'm like, listen, Anna, she could just quit. And you're just like, no, but listen, she could just quit. I'm like, we saying the same thing. In my head, Anna, a fictional character, she gonna be okay. But in real life, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
This should and will never happen to me again. Let me say again.
Again.
Let me say again.
Again.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I've dated an employee and I've dated my boss.
Oh my god, you've been on both
I've been on
ends. So
both
you have
ends.
some experience with this
I've
book.
been on both ends.
So let me make sure, when you say that you've dated an employee, are you saying that
I was a
you
manager
were they
and
Oh
they were a
Lord,
team
oh
member.
Lord,
They were a team
oh
member,
Lord,
and then
oh Lord.
I was a assistant manager, and I've dated my general manager.
All right then.
And y'all want to know something? Both of them didn't work out.
Not the one. Luke is single.
I dated an employee twice, y'all. So I can,
Oh my god.
guys, it does not work out. Please live vicariously through the Choices app.
I mean, let's be honest. Some of these people, they be really fighting and dying for these boss employee relationships. No, it's gonna work. And it's 99% of your relationships don't end up being the one. So what y'all so obsessed with?
No, literally, listen. I said in a perfect world, and V strategically pointed out there is no such thing as a perfect world. In a perfect world, it would work out.
Yeah, in a world where everything went right and there was no such thing as a power imbalance or predatory behavior or toxic behavior, yeah, it could work out.
Exactly. Even in a perfect world, you're still gonna get I was your boss. Like that like
Uh-huh.
that's inevitable. Like, how did you guys meet? Oh, I was their boss. Like, you can't avoid that. Girl, you better just say Tinder.
Hmm.
Damn.
I also think in this case it's like doubly harmful because Anna like professes that they like admire Sam. And I think also when you have like I remember they were all like in these boy bands, they would always go to the male singers and they'd be like, "Would you ever date a fan?" And they'd always give the really PC answer of like, I mean, I'll never say never, but probably not." You know? I feel like the combination of Anna admiring Sam for like their work, like Anna's already telling Sam like I admire you, which makes Anna like even more easily influenced. Like if you were watching a celebrity date a fan, you would be like that's kind of weird.
Right, exactly.
So like it's even doubly weird in this case because now you know who Sam was, you admire the company they work for. And then also now there's going to be people, of course, kind of like how I alluded to before, oh, this person only wants to fuck their boss to get ahead in their career. Is kind of like the same way that I feel in this situation because we know that Anna has a degree in
And
chemistry and
chemistry, yes, you're right. You're right.
I think both of them have a little, they have a little bit of, how do I say this? They have some misgivings to admit. Okay, before we get on with the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt with some plugs. So you can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. If we haven't convinced you yet, listen to this amazing, amazing commercial that Lucas and I put together for you. It
In the
takes me
arms
hours.
of an angel.
It takes me, no, keep singing. It takes me
I
hours to record. No, keep doing it.
Here
It takes me
are
hours to record and edit this podcast.
wherever you
And
are.
with your donation
I believe
of
that
$1 a
my
month
heart will
could save V from
go
smashing her fucking head into a
on.
wall.
Why does the heart
Thank you so
go?
much. And back to our episode.
So, my question for you would be, do you think that Anna could strategically play this out to get a career out of this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, basically, like Anna plays with his kids like all day. So if the kids come home and they're like, "Oh my God, we love Anna," and then I could just imagine that like good relationship with the kids, good relationship with the boss.
Mm-hmm.
One day Anna like saunters into Sam's office and is like, I would like some she could phrase it as like I would like some like free enrichment opportunities. Like I'll help you for free on a project, but like I want to get exposed
Right.
to this part of the business, right? I could definitely see it turning that way. So yeah, I'm not trying to sit here and say that like Sam is like 100% the only person to blame. Like come on now. Anna knows it's inappropriate too. And in one part of the story, you can straight up tell Sam, like, oh yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, true. Sam has all the power, but having all the power does not mean you can't be manipulated into thinking that that's what you want.
Absolutely. Just because he has money and influence doesn't mean he can't be manipulated.
Oof. Mm.
And especially because Sam's wife died.
Mm-hmm. And if Anna pull on that, I've been taking care of your kid string. Been pulling on.
Let them kids call Anna mom once.
Ooh.
Come on now.
It's a done deal. Anna gonna start putting it in their head. They're gonna be like, Mickey gonna be like, Anna, you're like, did you just call me mom?
Oh my god. Trying to imagine as like this intentionally manipulative character is so funny to me. we really just dissected the fuck out of this relationship.
I love it though. I love.
And you know what's interesting too is like we can sit here and say that like Sam has all the like money and power, but on the flip side, Anna has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
That is see. This is what I meant where I said she could just leave. She could just like quit, and I'm not saying it would be okay, but I'm saying like she would literally leave with what she started with, which is nothing, which is a clean slate.
The only caveat the only caveat to that sentence that I would say is like I do feel like you have to take into account the emotional pull that someone has
Oh,
over you, which is
absolutely, yeah,
why, you know what I mean? Just
yeah,
saying the phrase like, "Oh, Anna could just leave at any time," like there's like an emotional
yeah.
part of that that influences whether she really feels like she can leave. But yeah, theoretically, like she doesn't have to put this job on her resume. She's not in a career for nannying.
Oh my god, she could get attached to the kids and get heartbroken. There's just so much that can happen.
There's so much shit that can go wrong. We really, damn, we're being so pessimistic right now.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
No, I mean, I love it. The app is trying to make this sexual book like, oh, isn't it so hot to fuck your boss? And we're like, here's the 83 reasons why it's
No,
not.
like literally, like she could kidnap the children, hold them from ransom.
Damn. Oh my god. Okay. I'm
Listen,
sorry. I
I'm
had
just
to take a
saying, if
moment to
she
like,
arranged someone to kidnap the children and then pleaded the whole like, bring them back, Sam, I'm right beside you, like I'm gonna help you find them, but she is in communication with the people who actually kidnapped the children, they could both walk away with some mad money.
I don't know about y'all, but I would never let Lucas with my kid after he said something like that.
Oh my
Because now I'm
god.
thinking that's the plan you've made. You're like, damn, this would
And
be a
I'm
really
just
great opportunity
saying,
to get them kidnapped.
I wasn't like, I'm not manifesting it. I was just saying like that could happen. Like she could be
No, I'm
crazy.
just giving you shit. I'm just giving
Like,
you
I mean,
shit.
like, do I hate children? Yes. Would I kidnap them? I don't know if I care enough to kidnap children.
Oh my god. Well, thank God you're
Oh
apathetic.
my god. Guys, please don't cancel me.
I'm sure I said something cancelable in this episode too. I mean, how could you not? We're literally having an entire episode about someone like trying to seduce someone else who's in a relationship.
Listen, we're just trying to give y'all like the viewpoints that most people don't talk about. We are a hard hitting expose on why this would not work in the real world.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong. Also, I just feel like Anna's fine, Sam's fine. They could find literally anyone else. Actually, Sam already has found someone else, so turn around. Go back to your fiance.
And then Anna, she could literally have a sex dream about anybody. So like,
Right. She had one nut. One fictional nut because of this person.
she
And
do.
now she's like, I have to have him. Haven't even slept with him in real life yet.
I I don't even think that they displayed Anna's emotional reaction to the engagement.
Not really. I can't recall.
Cause like I mean like I guess that just depends on like well, I don't know. I'm over here like I guess it just depends on which character you play, but I forgot his choices, so they're just gonna force you to play one character anyways.
We already know the character's gonna be attracted to Sam anyways. Like we already know this. Whether or not you decide to act on that attraction is a different story, but like we already know that Anna is the character who is like very, very, very attracted to Sam.
Which truly is just so crazy that there's not another Li in this story because I feel like they could fit in perfectly. Like,
Yes, like here's your toxic Li and here's
yeah,
your normal
yeah.
Li.
Here's your like you wouldn't have to wreck a family to be with me. You know what, sir? You right.
It would be interesting if they like dangled someone in front of Anna to be like, this is a healthy relationship. Look at this. Look at this.
And then Sam can be like, I know that we're not healthy, but like I need you.
Yeah, like our love can overcome any amount of abuse because of the
I have
relationship.
enough money for therapy.
Let me stop playing. Let me stop playing. For real, like Sam hasn't technically done anything wrong. Let me just state that. I'm not saying that Sam is acting predatory. I'm just saying that the chances in which an employee boss relationship can go wrong are very astronomical in a lot of different ways that is very hard to predict when you have feelings in your face and you're letting those feelings distract you. That's all that I'm saying.
Right.
But no, I would not say at this very moment that Sam is like automatically a predator because nothing's happened yet.
Right, truly.
That was a long ass discussion. The next question I have for you is that it's obvious that this relationship is going to be romantic due to it being a single LI. So how are you feeling about the relationship so far, though?
I think I'm fine with it. I think the building blocks are there. Okay, we're walking down a road and I can find us
Mm-hmm.
approaching a fork in the road, and I'm curious to see, what that fork could be. I think the introductions were nice. I do like the attraction between the characters, but not acting on it. Even with the diamond scene, like there was a little flirtating, flirtation shit, but there wasn't anything too serious. Like that aspect, like you said, the affair, obviously, like, him being in a relationship, him being engaged. I even like that aspect of it. 'Cause it drives the plot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like the.
You like a double conflict.
Oh,
Like it's like
absolutely.
one, he's your boss, so maybe it shouldn't happen, and then two, they're engaged, maybe it shouldn't
Right,
happen.
right.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, did I talk to death that this could be a problematic relationship? Yes. But I also do think if you were to play this character, if they give you the option to play this character as someone who like reserves himself and is like, no, I'm not going to do it, I do think the moment that when it does happen, it's going to be so hot. I can call out that it's problematic all day, but I'm not going to lie, it could be hot. Sometimes things that are problematic are hot.
And that's what we were talking about, living vicariously through the Choices app.
The app, because well, I don't do this in real life, Lucas. Lucas is like, this is in my past.
Yeah, I'm a new person.
Have I ever dated? Hold on, let me really permeate. Have I ever dated? I've never been in charge of people.
Right.
So I've definitely never been the manager who dated their employee, but it almost happened because I was working at this fast food joint and a guy who I had previously slept with when we were just coworkers, he came to a manager and he tried to like tell me, he's like, "Oh yeah, you could come back to my place." And I was like, "Nah, nah, nah, that sounds weird."
No, 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 no. One and done.
I mean, I wasn't into it for reasons other than the fact that he was now a manager. Like, it had nothing to do with his position, but I'm also like, well, actually, I had a friend who worked at that fast food place with me there's a lot of employee manager relationships in this fucking place, y'all. Like, this place is messy.
As someone who was vividly told all the stories, it was so much. It was like a game of like it was Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was fucking everybody. It was like, damn, like you could literally look at one person and know that they had fucked like four different people in that restaurant. Like it was a
Absolutely,
lot.
absolutely. The key to finding A was trying to find a person who didn't fuck anyone in the restaurant.
You're absolutely correct about that. And the friend that I'm talking about, she had dated a guy who was a manager, and it got really, really bad because he was a very immature person. So when they dated, it was just well, she broke up with him, and he spent like the rest of the time that she was working there, like just making it so awkward. Like they would be on a shift together, and he would not stop talking about being in a relationship with her. Like he was just trying to tell her like, "Oh, I miss you," blah blah blah. And she couldn't get away from that because she was on a shift. Like you can't just leave just because someone's like I mean, you should be able to. You should be able to be like pointing, "He's weird and I need to leave." But, it's a workplace. Workplaces are not like safe places for people who are being sexually harassed. So, unfortunately, like she couldn't just leave.
Right.
So I've definitely seen that happen. So yeah, I guess I did kind of have some experience. I was not experienced, but I was an audience member to that type of interaction and it was super uncomfortable. So
Hmm.
maybe that also did kind of inform me saying no to that person at the time. But it was, let's be honest, it was 95% just like there had been other things that had happened before he was promoted to manager that like made me not want to see him again. Yeah, I do feel like if it's a slow burn, it'll be hot. Sometimes problematic relationships are hot. I'm sorry. Sometimes they are. We don't condone them though.
No, 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 no. We
Wink,
don't
wink.
condone them. No, no, no.
We never condone them. Wink, wink. We're just offering our perspective. Okay, so Reddit reactions. Okay, so user I love Harley 19 said their mother died. And then they reacted to that saying, "Oh well, at least it's not a real affair. That's better." And then it says Sam is engaged. Well, fuck me.
No, no, really though. I mean, really though.
The way that they just tossed that like into the end of the fucking chapter.
Yes.
You're like, oh no, it's no big deal. Like to me, if I was playing it, because I play a character who's like, no, I have to be professional. If I learned that Sam had a fiance, I would be like, well, that's it, Jenny. It ain't happening. Stop looking at me like that. Like, damn.
It's literally like The way they insert the dream in the beginning, the way they like encourage you to be like, no, go after him, you can have it all, and then it's like, oh, he already put a ring on it. It's just truly a slap in the face.
It is a slap in the face. User Sexy Black said, yeah, I bet the fiance will be some sort of asshole and that will be used as a moral justification for cheating.
I mean, isn't it always?
Oh my god. No, continue. You said it. Go ahead. Explain. Go ahead, explain.
I don't want to open that Pandora's box.
No, you already opened it. I'm not editing that out. You tell me.
We justify cheating because the person that we're with is not treating us right. They're an asshole. They don't like my children. And it doesn't make it right because the reality of it is, like I said many times, you having your cake and wanting to eat it too. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So if you're communicating with your fiance and they are not meeting your standards and not supporting you, making you happy, doing whatever you need to do, then there's no need to stay in the relationship. So that means there's no reason to cheat because it wouldn't be cheating because you should just leave the relationship if you're unhappy. This whole like my partner, my fiance, yada yada yada, is an asshole and doesn't appreciate me, so I'm gonna cheat thing is like there should be no excuse to cheat. There should be no silver lining to cheating. It should just be you're done with the relationship, so you don't have to cheat.
I mean, yes, I agree with you. I'll give you a story. That was in my family. So my grandmother cheated on my grandfather. And the way that my mother describes it is that my grandfather was like very abusive to my grandmother and just generally not loving. He like worked all the time, very harsh with her. So she ended up falling in love with someone else. Now, again, I asked my mom, I was like, why did she just leave? But she was very, like financially dependent on my grandfather. So it was hard to just say, just leave. Now, it's hard to imagine Sam being in that position because they're rich. Maybe there's some other type of power influence that their fiance has over them where they're like, oh my God, I don't like this person. I wouldn't traditionally marry this person, but I have to.
That's very much true.
Could be very complicated, very messy situation, which is yet again why I say, Anna, why the fuck you involving yourself in this? When I hear drama like this, I'd be like, run the other way. I want
Run the
nothing
other
to
way.
do with that.
I feel like this is like the TikTok meme, and it's like, who are you? And then Sam's fiance is like, I'm the owner of this house. Who are you? That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, the way that Jenny was like, oh, Sam has a fiance. I was like, of course they do. They're like a hot millionaire.
Yeah.
Duh. There's no way that they're single. Come on now. Could have any person they want, of course. Okay, so user Christy78968 said also, I couldn't help but laugh at the start and at every moment when the writers tried to make it sexual. Just because Sam looks at MC doesn't mean that he wants to screw her. I will say, when they said Sam was like perched on that fucking desk and Anna was like, I lost my breath. I was like, oh my girl, you a simp. You a simp. Just sitting there on the desk.
I automatically would have turned to the secretary like he normally do this. Why he
Right.
sitting like that?
You turn around and you're like, you're gonna leave me with this man?
Can you stay in the room?
Right. Like, can I have a witness in this place?
Where's HR? Oh wait.
Where is HR? I would like for someone from HR to take notes on our interview, please.
Oh wait, we don't have one because I'm gonna be the nanny. Oh, okay. That's my cue to go ahead and leave.
Right. You're like, I gotta go. Actually, next time, I think I'm just gonna nanny through like a nannying service where they offer me like protection from men who perch on their desk like this. It is kind of interesting. It's like literally, it's like MC can't. She going up the elevator. We didn't talk about this, but as Anna's going up the elevator, she's like, "Let me fantasize about my boss taking my panties off." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Aggressive.
woman is so horny for like no fucking reason. Why is she so horny all the time? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because of course at some point there's going to be an actual opportunity for something to happen and then it will explain like more of the sexual chemistry between them, but right now like they just had a drink together and like walked around their apartment like
Literally had a drink. It would be sexual and it would add mystery if she was just at the apartment to be at the apartment. But it's not like, oh, he's showing you around the apartment. No, he's showing you your job. He's
Your job.
your
This is your
workplace.
workplace. He's like, this is the ice maker. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you gotta slam it 3 times. Like,
Like,
it's not sexual.
like, it's just hard to, like, sexualize that because, like, that's first and foremost, that's what you're there for, is to take care of the children and to, that's your job.
Correct.
So he's not, oh, this is your bedroom where I'll sneak in and fuck you every night. He's like, no, this is your bedroom where you'll sleep when you're not taking care of my children.
And I need you to wake up at 6 a.m. every day because the boys get up at 7 and they like blueberry pancakes. I don't know why we're so focused on pancakes today. I don't know what it is
Pancakes and
about the
Michael
pancakes.
Myers.
Pancakes and Michael Myers. We can't seem to get away from those 2 things. Alright, before we move on to the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt to plug our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram and at Play Choices Pod on Twitter. You can also go to playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com for our Tumblr page, which is where I post any episode notes that I have, like links to posts I've mentioned, photos I've mentioned, or more. We're also available for listening on all major platforms, so if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. It's a funky thing with the algorithm that helps us a lot. I wish I could explain it more in depth, but I just know that it helps us, so we do appreciate any reviews that you leave us. And as always, we are a growing podcast, so if you see us pop up on your socials, we do appreciate a share, a retweet, or a reblog, depending on the platform you see us on. We also appreciate it when you share our podcast with your fellow choices-loving friends. And now, back to the episode. It's time for bingo.
Let's do it.
Full FYI, I was actually the one who made this bingo.
Ooh.
I tried to find one. No avail. So I decided to try to put together kind of like my own thoughts about what I thought this bingo could be. Okay? I tried. So, I mean, Lucas, you can give me feedback if you'd like it or not. So let's just start, from the top. MC and her boss have sex during their interview.
I mean, she wanted to, but no, that didn't happen.
Yeah. That one did not happen. So I'm just basically gonna like shade the circle in to show that we're never gonna do that. Okay, so the second one, MC's boss will offer to break up with his current partner to be with MC.
Nope.
Nope. MC or her boss will quote unquote stop the relationship because they feel guilty about the affair. Not even in an affair yet. MC will insist that her boss ends her current relationship, but they are resistant to. Not even there yet. MC will use her boss's job as a way to advance her own career.
Oh.
Potentially, but it hasn't happened yet. MC will dress seductively at work to attract her boss. Do you feel like I mean, like Anna did say she wanted to like
Yes. No,
look hot.
that's a yes. That's
You think
absolutely
yeah?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one, MC and her boss will get into an argument over the kids. Hasn't happened yet.
Nope.
MC will demand more money or benefits to keep the affair secret. Could happen, hasn't happened yet. MC will be immediately amazing with the kids despite no experience.
I mean, yes.
Wow, I really hit it with that one.
It really hit it with that one.
It's kind of cheating because I have read the book, but also there are so many things about this book that I don't remember.
But also, like, that is a cliche. That would be a cliche. Because she has a master's degree in chemistry. Why is she even thinking about being a nanny?
Right, and trying to say, like, I'm amazing with kids is like, I don't know. I was going to say something kind of offensive. I'm going to say it. I'm just saying that I just think that in general, I know some people who go into STEM careers, and typically people who go into STEM careers, like sometimes people go into STEM careers because they could not enter careers that require them to be like, I guess, good at socializing. And I say that because like I dated someone who was in a STEM career and he was like so socially awkward, and I don't think he knew how to talk to people, much less kids. Just her like automatically being like super social and super amazing. I'm like, are you? Is
Are you
that really believable? I'm not trying to say that if you're in a STEM career, you're automatically boring. I'm just saying that I tend to notice that when I meet someone who's like a scientist or something like that, they tend to be a little bit on the quieter side, a little bit more reserved. Next one says MC's boss will make promises to be with her in the imaginary future. Not yet. MC's boss will stay with their partner regardless of their promises of the future. Not yet. The children will pressure their parent and MC to date. Not yet. MC will make a scene at some point and reveal the affair. Not yet. The writers will not address the power imbalance of the boss and employee relationship. mean,
the likelihood of them doing that is no, but like I feel like we have to just wait just a little bit longer.
yeah, I feel like we do have to wait, at least give them a chance to be like, this isn't appropriate. Because so far, all Anna has talked about is just it being like unprofessional, but she hasn't really mentioned, like, she hasn't been like, oh my God, he's my boss, you know? Because you could say it's unprofessional about dating a coworker who's like at your level.
Right.
So we'll give them some more time. MC will attend events where it makes no sense why she's there, making everyone curious.
Oh my God, I can see it now.
The media will find out about the affair and make it a big deal. MC will horribly fuck up during babysitting. The children will walk in on MC and their parent banging.
Oh my God.
MC's boss's partner will be unaware of the affair and will be totally shocked when they find out. The next one's the opposite. MC's boss's partner will know about the affair the whole time and be cool with it. MC and her boss will bang in a common area of the house. MC's boss's partner will agree to deal with the affair and stay in their relationship. MC will lose the kids at some point. When I've said that, I was like imagining that they were going to be out like on a field trip or something and like they just get lost and she's like, oh fuck.
Well, I love that because lose the kids at some point is just truly many definitions can come from that.
So yeah, I guess it's up to your interpretation.
Yeah, because like lose the kids, that means like they could also lose their respect for her. Like she could do something wrong and they could like not like her.
Lose their support.
Support. Yeah.
Okay, I like the way you're interpreting this.
Yeah.
And then there is a very dramatic breakup at some point.
Of course, his choices.
Of course. So essentially what we have ex-nayed the entire, they have sex with their boss during the interview because that's been in past and that didn't happen. Only in a dream, but it doesn't count. And then we crossed out two like content. We crossed out two stereotypes. So we have two on the map. I mean, if we can get, it's under B2 and G2, so if we can get I, N, and O2, it would be bingo.
I can't wait for us to get bingo on one of these bitches.
I know. I hope we get bingo on one of these. A part of me was like wanting to put it because I played the book. I was like, let me manipulate this into bingo, but I was like, no. Let me just.
I can't. I gotta stay true to my character.
Exactly. I was like, no, because then it's gonna spoil. Like, it's just, I have to leave it up to chance. Cool. So that is the end of our episode.
Oh, that's a good episode, jam-packed. We had a little debate, which hasn't happened episodes, which I think that's good. It's gonna add to it.
Yeah, I know. Someone messaged me on Tumblr and they were like, "Are you guys going to bring a guest on?" It was a good question. Like, I'm not trying to like make fun of whoever sent it, right? It was Annan, so I don't know who sent it. But someone asked me a question in my ask box and they're like, "Are you guys ever going to have a guest on the podcast who is different, like a guest host, because they would like to see some different perspectives on the podcast?" Which I'm like, I understand what you're saying. Like, of course, you listen to us all the time. Why I say all the time? It's only, at this point, it's only been like, what, where this is episode 7? Oh, this is kind of a long episode. We might split it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're probably gonna end up splitting it.
Yeah, because this is like 2 hours long. So probably episode 8. So you've been listening to we've been listening to Lucas and I's voices for 7 episodes now, because we started recording together episode 2. So yeah, but I mean, we don't agree with each other all the time. We'll get into disagreements, and I think it's good. I think it's a good precedent for the podcast to like respectfully disagree with someone's opinion. And also, like, we've been best friends since kids. Like, we're gonna give each other shit.
Oh, absolutely.
We give each other shit all the time in real life.
And it's just so funny because like surface level, it's like, oh wow, like they're just disagreeing. Like I never would have thought that. But us, it's like, oh, you already know we're disagreeing because you're reckless as fuck. Like,
you just said your name.
Oop.
I'm gonna have to cut that out.
And like, oop.
If you'd like me to maintain that in the podcast, I could cut it out and put a bleep over it.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, y'all, for context, the chance of like Lucas and I actually offending each other at this point in our relationship is like very low. We would have to do some like really low blows in order to offend each other, I think.
And the only low blows that it would be throwing each other's trauma up in our face, which we would never do.
We don't do that. We do not do that to people. We do not say, oh, you went through this and that's like exactly why you're behaving like this right now. Like,
Right.
no, we leave that type of reading for therapists, not for each other.
Yeah, not for each other. And trust me, they drag us enough. We don't need to drag.
Yes, my therapist be reading me all the motherfucking time, yo. Like, I do not need someone else to do it. I really do not. So yeah, if we disagree, it's never. Also, these are fictional books.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
we can have like ethical debates about things and not have it be like hard feelings and stuff.
So guys, don't worry, okay? Don't get worried, okay?
Don't get worried, we're not mad at each other. And I think it's a good precedent starting the podcast that like we can have respectful debates and agree to disagree. That's fine. Because really, very few things in life are that serious that you can't agree to disagree on some stuff. Okay, so that's the end of our episode. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll announce on our socials when the next episode goes live. I think we've been pretty consistent with the upload schedule. We usually go live on Saturday.
Yes, 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 yes.
Saturday, midnight Eastern Standard Time is when we typically go live. So I think people on the West Coast can hear it at like 9. The rest of you will have to like wait until the next day. Unless you're up. If you're up, you're a night owl. I am too. I'm not judging you. So yeah, we'll announce when the next episode go live. We'll announce what the topic is. We're gonna make the outro a little bit shorter than usual. So on our Tumblr page is where we post any episode notes. So if you want to see the bingo card that I created, you can go to playchoicespodcast@tumblr.com. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us a lot with the algorithm. Algorithm's weird, but I just know that rating, reviewing, and subscribing is going to help us. And if you have any questions, comments, theories, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com, and we'll try to respond in the next episode. If you want us to read your email in the episode, like while recording, let us know in the email, please. Thanks for joining me, Lucas.
Bye.
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 Bye. You want to play a game?
Oh my god.